Hey guys, I wanted to introduce you to kind of a neat section in Delta Math that I thought was really good for our rotations. So here's how this works. You got to read these directions as you go because this is a multiple step problem, and you need to follow these directions within each step before it completes this problem. So we're going to graph this as a 270-degree counterclockwise rotation about the origin. So here we go. So it says draw a circle centered at the origin of rotation, which is here, such that one of the vertices of the figure is on the circle. So here's all I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag out a circle until one of the vertices of my figure is on that circle. And it needs to be exactly on that circle. So right there, I am now hitting a point that is exactly on that circle. So that was the first step. Now it says click and drag to draw a line through the yellow center and that vertex that's on the circle. So I'm going to start at the yellow circle, click and drag until I have a line that goes right through that point. Now draw a line through the yellow center that is perpendicular to the line you just drew. So what I do on this is I just kind of look at the points. How did I get from here to here? So yeah, it's up 7 and over 2. So if I want to go perpendicular to that, remember perpendicular is where you flip the fraction and change the sign. So the one that I drew is positive 7 over 2. So perpendicular would be negative 2 and over 7, which would be right here. Got to start at the yellow line. So I need to click and drag. So down 2 and over 7. And now I have the perpendicular lines. And here's why they have you do that, is because now I can rotate this figure 270 degrees counterclockwise using the red dot. So I'm going to click and drag for 270 degrees. So if I dragged it to here, it would be 90. This would be 180. And if I drag it all the way to here, this point is going to be at 270. So I'm going to click and drag. And this is what I really liked about it, is it shows you, so if I did it 90 degrees, this is what it would look like. If I did it 180 degrees, this is what it would look like. 270 degrees finishes right there. So now I can see exactly what this figure looks like in a 270 degree rotation. So really neat. You can even kind of show the animation if you click on this. And so now it kind of shows you what it looks like if this figure gets rotated 270 degrees, which can be really tough visually in just doing these on graph paper. So I kind of like this animation option. So here's how you finish it. So we need to say, okay, here's where the values where we started. So what are the new values that we now have? What is the image at? And there's two options that you now have. I can just look at my graph and see what they became and plot and write down the values of those 4 points in here. They do have to be in the right spots though, so be careful on that. Or I can use my 270 degree rule, if you're a fan of the rule, and I can just apply a rule to these numbers to get the image. So if you take your 270 rule, which is right here, xy becomes y negative x. So in other words, I'm going to flip the order, and as I flip it, my leading term is going to change signs when it goes right here. So I'm going to flip the order and do that. So for example, 5, 1 would become 1, negative 5. 5, 8 would become 8, negative 5. I'm a fan of the rule, as you can tell. 2, 7 becomes 7, negative 2. And 1, 6 would become 6, negative 1. So now when it says try these values, let's take a look. So it says you are correct. Now you can hit submit and go to the next option. So really kind of a neat option to this. So I encourage you potentially to give this one a try if that looks good to you.